So Marilyn Manson just got himself a huge win, with a judge absolutely wrecking one of his accusers by comparing some of their arguments to alien abduction. That's right, alien abduction. I mean, essentially, you have a judge putting the idea of suppressing memories for 10 years on blast, bringing up a hypothetical involving mind-controlling alien abductors, and they don't stop there. They bring up time travel and everything else, too. I mean, you know things are going bad for accusers when headlines start talking about alien abductors landing in your appeal. You and I, we're going to talk about this today, and this really is fun times. I mean, this is fun times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day. By the way, I hope you are doing excellently. Man, you know you have absolutely gotten wrecked when your appeal turns into memes like this. I mean, it's bad enough that were it not for the source that brought it up, I would have thought, man, surely this can't be real. This laugh track, though, oh man, it is 100% legit. This is posting on law360.com. Props to the Manson cases for posting about this too. Let's read this together. I mean, you know your stuff is in trouble when it starts out like this. Quote, alien abductors land in Marilyn Manson's accuser's appeals. It's not good at all. A California appellate judge on Thursday quizzed counsel for a woman who claims that she was, I'm going to use the word accosted, by Marilyn Manson on whether the court must accept at the pleading stage her quote-unquote improbable claim that she suppressed the memory for 10 years, posing a hypothetical involving mind-controlling alien abductors. Now, this deals with the Ashley Walters lawsuit, and this is a wild argument, by the way. What they're essentially saying is, yes, this was dismissed because of statute of limitation issues, but you can't dismiss it for that. Why? Because of repressed memories. I mean, listen to this. This is wild. Quote, Ashley Walters' suit against Manson was dismissed last year despite arguments by her attorney that the claims are not time-barred, in part because Walters repressed memories for many years. You know, memories she's saying she got back during therapy, which delayed the statutes of limitations clock. Now, this is the argument that a judge absolutely wrecks. And I mean, check this out. It is something to behold. So, the lawyer repeated those arguments before the appellant panel in hopes of reviving the suit before Justice John L. Segal interrupted. Are you familiar with Marina Pacific? One of our Division 7 decisions, the justice asked. It has to do with insurance coverage, but it essentially says we accept as true all allegations, no matter how improbable. Now, the lawyer said, no, I'm not really familiar with that case, but I'm familiar with the principle. So the justice said that he finds it improbable that Walters, quote unquote, suppressed some things for 10 years, but then suddenly remembers them. But what I think is improbable, it doesn't matter. I mean, we assume it's all true, right? And of course, the lawyer is like, yeah, of course, I agree with that. Yes, of course I do. But my question here, they're asked, is there a limit to our duty to accept things as true, no matter how improbable? In this next part, it is amazing. I mean, what if the plaintiff alleges, I suppressed it for 10 years because I was abducted by aliens, and the aliens controlled my mind, and therefore I had no ability to remember. And when I finally escaped from the aliens, it all came back to me. Do we have to accept something like that as true? And I love that argument, by the way, because it catches this lawyer off guard. They don't really know how to answer it. I mean, this absurdity, of course they have to say no. And I mean, they were baited right into it. So the lawyer answers, no, Your Honor. There are, of course, limits to that. There are limits to what you have to accept as true. That's interesting because they weren't arguing that before. But I think, they continue, one has to look at the particular facts. Now, the justice doesn't really like the way that this is going. So, and these aren't my words, these are the words in the article here, continues to push the lawyer on the limits to what a court must accept, asking if it would extend to a person who said that they traveled through a portal in time to 18th century Scotland, and whether that would be a limit on what to accept. Now, the answer to this is beyond hilarious, too, because this lawyer is put in a no-win situation. The lawyer knows that the judge is pretty much saying, there is no way on earth we are going to give you this. So what's the answer to what you get with, again, an 18th century porthole in time? They say, well, it depends on the particular facts of the case. So maybe you would listen to that. That really depends. And I extend to the court that the plaintiff, Ashley Walters here, adequately pleaded the discovery rule in her complaints. I mean, again, yes, you should take seriously someone saying, I traveled through a portal in time, therefore. Now, that original complaint, it was something to behold, too. And you could really understand why this thing, it ended up getting tossed out and why they're having to bring up ridiculous arguments, in my opinion. See, in the original 2021 complaint, Walters described Marilyn Manson as a terrifying and violent person to work with and said that he had lured her into his orbit with promises of artistic collaboration and professional opportunities that resulted in quote-unquote personal and professional certain types of exploitation, manipulation, and also psychological abuse. Now, she says, though, she didn't actually recognize what was here. She didn't think of how bad that was until she got into the orbit of people like Evan Rachel Wood. When all of those people came together, suddenly the memories, with therapy and all that stuff that was suppressed, that all came flooding back. And that is where you get your alien argument, because the argument here is, well, I don't really have a statute of limitation on this stuff because I suppressed it. If I can't remember what happened, then, well, you can't really put me on the clock. Now, this lawsuit, by the way, was amended not one time, but twice before an LA Superior Court justice tossed the suit without leave to amend last year, finding the allegations had been pled with quote-unquote too few facts to keep this complaint in court and too late. So they were saying, in addition to this being late, you didn't really prove what was there. No real facts to it. And now aliens. Like I said, this, you talk about getting wrecked and then some. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. And as always, I appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you. I can't say that enough. Thank you. Want to help out the channel, by the way? Links are in the description. We could always use your help. Share this. Make sure you like all that good stuff. And thank you. Appreciate you. See you soon.